Welcome back to another weekly forecast video. Jumping right into the charts, I have annotated the previous month's highs and lows, as well as some of the assets' previous week's low. Starting off from the economic calendar, we do have NFP next week, and then we have a bank holiday on Monday. For Tuesday and Wednesday, we have 10 a.m. news drivers. For Thursday, we have 8:15, 8:30, and 10 a.m. Judging on the economic calendar itself, we are probably be going to forming we are probably going to form the high of the week or the low of the week on Friday because it's NFP and we have a shorter week, so the week actually starts on Tuesday. I would be thinking that we're going to form the opposite end of the expansion on Wednesday or Thursday. So let's just say, for example, if I'm bullish, I would be expecting the lows to be formed on Wednesday/Thursday and flip it around if I'm bearish. Heading into next week, I am more or less neutral, but I would be leaning towards bearishness because for the indices, because if you look at the current highs that we're printing, we have SMT on highs with ES, and then we have a secondary SMT on highs with Dow Jones over here. And then if you take a look at Nasdaq, it's closing, engulfing this up close candle right here, which has traded into a previous bearish order block right here. 50%. Look at the reaction right there. So I do believe that we are going to go lower into July's low, which is a fair value gap for Nasdaq and ES, before we can continue higher. For me to be able to trust the move going lower, I would need ES to break this swing low over here and then close below this bullish fair value gap. Alright, so that would be the minimum criteria for me to look for July's low, and of course August low as well for the month of September. For the Forex, it's pretty clear that we have been consolidating in the month of August. Nothing much has happened after we formed this low right on the first day of August, and then this high right here for the dollar. We have been sideways. British pound on the other hand was expanding higher before it moved sideways in the last 2 weeks of August. And then for the euro versus British pound, we are in a consolidation as well. There is no signs of clear manipulation or distribution so far. So for the Forex, I would be neutral as well heading into next week. NFP is probably going to give a very good manipulation for the rest of the month, and if I was to force a bias, I would be bearish on British pound and I'll be bullish on euro futures, because if you take a look at the euro versus British pound, we are a long way to be bullish on this asset right here. So we're probably going to go lower into July's low after we trade into potentially this order block right here, but right now it is even having trouble closing above this swing high, and there is no swing lows taken. The last swing low taken was here, so if I was to validate any form of bullish price action, I will need price to close above this high, which doesn't make any sense at all. I'm going to be missing out the whole move. So I'll be looking for near-term stop hunts to be taken first before even considering higher prices. So if I'm expecting Euro British pound to trade lower, I would expect I would expect a bullish British pound and a bearish Euro. Sorry, my mistake there right there. So I'm expecting the British pound to be able to trade up above this high again, because right here was a very shallow run, and then the Euro probably going to trade lower to take out potentially this low before we continue higher into July's high, while British pound would just push higher and higher. That is what I would be anticipating. Yeah, but right now it's just a little bit too early to say, because we don't really have a clear manipulation yet, right? So for the indices and forex futures, unfortunately it's going to be neutral for next week, and if I were to be trading, I'll be looking for the previous day's highs and lows as the target objective. If not, the furthest I would go for is the previous week's highs and lows. And that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this weekly forecast, and I'll talk to you again. Have a great weekend.